I'm John Shearer. Coming up, learn the two things that tourism industry businesses say is needed to get the recreation industry back on track for this summer.
While new business is coming to Butte, economic leaders are trying to help those existing ones survive.
British researchers are making coronavirus testing easier than ever before. I'm Ian Lee with when people could start testing from home.
6:30 on this Thursday. Chet Lehman, Caitlin Corbett, Matt Elwell with you here. A beautiful day yesterday, a little bit of a nice rain this morning, and sounds like maybe prepare for a little bit more.
I think that's the case for the afternoon. The morning temperatures have been fairly warm, and we have had a couple of rumbles of thunder in the region. But look at these temperatures this morning, into the 50s, almost all the way across the area. Areas like Wise River, seeing temperatures in the upper 40s early this morning. The showers have been moving through pretty quickly, mainly on the light side. No lightning showing up right now, but we have had some at times this morning. Off and on showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon. I do expect to see some of those thunderstorms contain a little bit of small to moderate hail and gusty winds. We're going to break it all down for you coming up here in about 10 minutes.
All right, thank you for that, Matt. Time now is 6:31. There's another coronavirus death in Montana, this one in Yellowstone County. That brings the state's total to 16.
Yeah, he was a man in his 70s and had been hospitalized. No new cases in the state in the past 24-hour reporting period. Total stays at 451. Active cases from different from the total number of cases. The county and state health departments are reporting the active cases are down to 53. There are no active cases in Gallatin, Park, or Beaverhead counties. 3 active cases are reported in Silver Bow and 1 in Madison County. More than 13,500 tests have been completed.
And we can now tell you the name of the man that Gallatin City County health officials say was the first Gallatin County person to lose his life to COVID-19. Family members of Bill O'Connor, a longtime elementary school teacher in Livingston who had since moved to Bozeman, say O'Connor died Monday morning after battling the virus for 3 weeks. Family members also tell MTN News that O'Connor's wife, Donna, had recently recovered from the virus. O'Connor taught for 30 years and still helped out from time to time at the schools with maintenance. And in just days, a GoFundMe page set up for O'Connor's wife and his family has raised more than $10,000.
Shifting gears now here at 6:32, the president and CEO of the Bozeman Chamber of Commerce says decisions made in the next 2 weeks will determine the fate of the local tourism industry this summer. MTN's John Shearer has the story.
Schlemm says the tourism industry needs 2 key things to happen in order to salvage a season that collapsed this spring.
As long as the 14-day quarantine lift and the 10 person or less is in place, it will be a very long 6 months for the service industry.
According to Schlemm, guides, hotels, and others are writing the governor, asking that the 14-day quarantine for out-of-state visitors be lifted sooner than later.
Maybe put some other security measures and safety measures in place other than strictly an all-out 14-day quarantine when you come here.
Out-of-state tourism brought more than $800 million into Gallatin County in 2018, and up until March was on track for double-digit growth in 2020. That's now all in grave danger.
I think the bad news is that this is a big downturn, and it's going to be a real challenge just staying solvent.
University of Montana economist Patrick Barkey says it will be hard to turn things around even if there are eased restrictions later in the summer season.
Most of those trips, especially for people coming from outside of Montana, they're planning them now. And the planning is very uncertain. It looks like a good year to skip, quite frankly.
But Schlemm says he is a lot more optimistic. He says thanks to the closing of Yellowstone National Park hotels for the summer, local businesses have an opportunity.
Belgrade, Bozeman, Big Sky, West Yellowstone should really take a hard look at is that the base camps now could be set up outside of Yellowstone National Park.
But Schlemm says he's not 100% confident.
I'm starting to say, yes, I'm being nervous.
That's because he agrees with Barkey that there may not be enough time to rebook trips already canceled. In Bozeman, John Shearer, MTN News.
Now, Barkey says part of Montana's appeal for the traveler is that it's far away and kind of hard to get to. He says that could work against the state in a summer when many people are looking at vacationing much closer to their home.
Montana businesses are beginning to rebound, and that rebound includes medical procedures that had to be put on hold in order to focus on the coronavirus outbreak. MTN's Kevin Stanfield has the story.
As small businesses slowly and cautiously begin to reopen, Bozeman Health is doing the same thing, taking baby steps to eventually getting back to full operations. For nearly a month, Bozeman Health Deaconess Hospital was only accepting emergency trauma cases and COVID-19 related cases. But now, as part of the first phase of the reopening plan, the hospital is returning to performing elective procedures, which is welcome news for the staff.
I'm very glad to get back to doing what we do, but we're going to have to do it in a way that's different from the way it was before.
So what kind of procedures are they talking about?
Those cases in our oncology or cancer world that are very important for early diagnosis and treatment. We'll begin to look at those cases in which the patients have had functional limitations or pain.
So if you had an appointment that got canceled because of the Bozeman Health shutdown, they will be in touch to reschedule that appointment. If you come up here to the hospital, just remember they are limiting entry points. Expect to be screened and have your temperature taken as well. Plus, you gotta be wearing one of these. Remember, as we try to return to a sense of normalcy, safety precautions are still the priority.
Am I afraid to go back to the office? Not at all. Will I be cautious going back to the office? You better believe it.
In Bozeman, Kevin Stanfield, MTN News.
Shifting gears now at 6:36, business owners in Butte are certainly interested in getting back to work, and that includes new businesses as well. MTN's John Amy has more.
The coronavirus has been hard on businesses throughout Butte, but economic leaders are encouraged to see some new businesses opening in town.
And it's great to see more people, even through these difficult times, investing in Butte, creating jobs, and recognizing what our community has to offer.
The Montana-based Clearwater Credit Union is opening a branch in Uptown's former Hennessy Market building on East Granite Street, which has been vacant for about a year. The new business is looking to hire at least 5 employees.
It's great to be able to have them join us in town. They're the second largest credit union in the state. They have offices in several other communities with their headquarters in Missoula.
And while it's encouraging to see new business coming to Butte, the priority for economic leaders right now is to do whatever they can to save the current businesses who are struggling to survive.
With the coronavirus, we have shifted nearly all of our resources to retention and making sure our existing businesses are strong, getting the resources they need to survive the pandemic and to come out of the other side of it, not only here, but in a position to grow.
In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
By the way, John tells us the new credit union expected to be open by this summer.
And while many people are staying home amid the pandemic, British researchers are working to bring coronavirus test kits to your doorstep. CBS's Ian Lee reports from London, where 2 brothers believe they've made testing for the virus easier than ever before.
Behind this door, 2 brothers are developing a new device they believe will get a grip on the coronavirus. At their lab in England, Harry and Ralph Lamble originally invented an at-home testing kit for the flu, but they've quickly adapted it to test for COVID-19.
So it could be used in the workplace to screen employees to allow them to know they can safely go back to work, or even one day it could go out to mass consumer use.
Currently, coronavirus tests require large machines and a lab, but the brothers have simplified the process. They say it's as easy as a home pregnancy test with results in about 10 minutes. Governors in the U.S. say mass testing is crucial to lifting the lockdown.
We want to reopen this state, and we've got to have that testing to be able to do it.
In order to reopen our economy, we really need that testing.
The brothers hope to get FDA approval by this summer so they can start manufacturing tests in the U.S.
We're really looking to ramp up volume over the next few months, and we'll be in the millions of tests in the next 12 months.
It's not a silver bullet, but mass testing could get the world up and running again. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
And one Harvard study says the United States will need at least 5 million tests per day before starting to reopen in June, and 20 million per day for full remobilization of the economy by July.
Back here at home on the coronavirus front, it has been a tough few weeks for students in Montana. Traditional classes have been replaced with transitional learning. And last week, 8th graders at Gallatin Gateway School found out that their trip to Washington, D.C. has been canceled. But that didn't stop them from meeting with some of Montana's leaders online. Senator Steve Daines took some time to meet with the students in a Google Hangout Wednesday morning. He answered questions about his role as a senator, the Electoral College, and the coronavirus effect on the United States. So finding a way to make it work no matter what you have to do.
I think that was very special for the kids to be able to
always good
to do that.
Well, and that's part of your trip. For that trip would be to meet your congressional
They were
delegation
going to meet
there.
with the senators, and so that's good for them, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. All right, the time now is 6:40. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we return, a drug that failed as an Ebola treatment could help to slow down COVID-19. What it's called, how much it can help is coming up. But first, let's check in to see what's coming up on CBS This Morning.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS This Morning, Dr. David Agus has insight into an experimental drug that's showing promise as a coronavirus treatment. Also, our state of testing takes us to Pennsylvania, where you're going to meet a doctor paying out of her own pocket to get people tested for COVID-19. Plus, education in the new normal. Former U.S. Education Secretary John King tells us what schools may look like when classrooms reopen. And the wife of Broadway star Nick Cordero talks to Gail about his battle with the coronavirus, why she's optimistic he will recover. We'll see you at 7.